This is where we sleep and wake up, where we eat and make out, where we dream of the future and reminisce on the past. This is home, the place we normally overlook and take for granted. How many times have you woke up excited to shoot the stillness of the road you live on? Not many, I'm guessing. I was the same, but I'm trying to find something here. I'm trying to convince myself home is worth shooting too. So this is my new photo series, with episode 1 being Suburbia. Hey, what's cracking, you beautiful creatives? I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna arrange this series or put it together, but I think for today's episode I'm gonna go through, first of all, talking about the gear I'm gonna use, and then maybe do a photo walk, bring you guys along, not film myself so much, just talk behind the camera, and then maybe we can do some editing together at the end. Hopefully this wind is not knocking you guys off. So let's go about the gear that I'm going to be using today. So I'm running this camera today using the Fujifilm X-H1, which is filming me. I'm also going to be attaching this new beautiful lens that I've got, which is my new favorite lens. It's the PERGEAR 25mm f1.8. This tiny little lens. It's absolutely beautiful. I really like this thing. So I want to take this out today, do a little bit of a more detailed test with it kind of thing, and show you guys the quality of it. I think you'll like it. Also, I'm going to be running a memory card with only 1 GB of memory on it. The reason why I do this is kind of a challenge for myself because I don't normally do this kind of photography, so I don't want to just go out there and blitz 1,000 shots. I want to kind of slow it down. So with my camera, when I set it to RAW, I get about 36 images on a 1 GB card, which is very, very similar to film, if not identical. So yeah, it will have that kind of film feel. It'll be slowed down. So the images we're going to be taking today, I've got some inspiration of things that I've seen on the internet, which I really kind of enjoy. Like I said, this is new to me, so I'll just be running around and doing my thing. But I want to kind of focus on getting together a story, because I like to be able to look at images as if they were a complete creative content piece, if you know what I mean, rather than just random images of a location. I kind of want it to be like I could just print these out into a magazine and just look through them, do you know what I mean? So I want 36 images that are kind of coherent and they kind of mean something together. So I want to kind of get a feel for my local town, the suburbs. Yes, I want to get houses. If I can try and get people interacting with inside the natural habitat of the suburbs, that would be great. Also vehicles parked up and letter boxes and just you know, the small details that add to a bigger picture. That's what I'm trying to hope for today. So I guess I've done enough talking. Let's get into this video. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little segment there, that kind of relaxing photo walk kind of thing. I enjoyed it. So what I thought I'd do right now is just go through a few of my favorites of what I got on this day, and I'm just going to load up my laptop here and have a look at those. Yeah, so for me personally, there was kind of 2 series of images, or kind of like 4 images that really stood out to me, which I personally liked. And that was, first of all, these 2 images here of the house, what I like to call for me, it was kind of the perfect suburbia. In the first shot here, we have the road with the trees and the kid here on his BMX, which is doing a paper round. And I feel like that just, it talks to the scene that I was trying to set, that just being like, you know, a nice rural hometown kind of thing. And then this particular house here, where it's a set of apartments, but it looks like one big giant house, and it just looks super, something out of Iron Man or something like that. It looks super like new, expensive. It just looks sleek, and I think it's settled in nicely with the forest trees and things like that. I feel like it's set really nice. So these 2 images are my favorite from those. My next favorite segment has to be the old school Toyota Carina. I really liked these images. The Toyota was just parked up perfectly for the shot. So it's just one of those things, right? Like, I'm new to this kind of photography, just walking around. I know it sounds like, what, it's not a type of photography, but it is like suburbia photography it's very fresh for me. And I like the ones where I see old school cars and stuff like that. So this really stood out to me, this car here. And yeah, I like the image that I got. I even got a sneaky peek of someone looking at me through the window, which I didn't actually realize until after the shot. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, I like this overall horizontal shot of it. And then like the quarter mark shot on the back end, just showing the labels of the car. I really like that. So those are my 4 favorite images from this day going out. And I feel like this day going out, just walking around, taking shots of the things that we class as the boring things, really worked out for me. I really like some of these shots. I'm even using that house picture at the moment as my wallpaper on my desktop, because I don't know, just, it's nice. It feels like you're looking at it and you feel like you're at home, and that's a good thing about this kind of photography. So yeah, so what I thought I'll do right now is we'll just run through one quick edit. And when I say quick, I'm just going to do an overview of the settings that I've used for this edit. I'm not really going to do a whole tutorial or anything like that. I'm just going to do a quick run through, probably do a speed edit on the screen for you guys, and I'll just run through the list of things that I'm kind of doing, the ballpark figures, not exact figures, of what I'm doing here in the edit. So yeah, I'll run that on the screen right now. So as you can see here, I'm working with my old school car photo here. And what I like to do is I'll just start from the top. And first of all, I like to pick a different profile at the top. Either I pick something like a Fuji Provia if I'm working with my Fuji cameras, or I pick Adobe Portrait. The reason why I pick these 2 is I feel like they have the best contrast ratio when it comes to the picture profiles. I don't really like what the other picture profiles do. I feel like the highlights get too washed out, and yeah, it don't look too great to me. So as far as contrast goes, I'm not the kind of guy that bumps it up. I like to bring it back down. So I normally go contrast around -20. I think on this one around -17 or so. With the highlights, I like to bring those down quite a bit. So I've gone for about -65 on this shot. With the shadows, I've pumped it all the way up. I've gone all the way up to like 90 to 100 on this image. And with the whites, I tend to bring those down just a little bit, take an edge off. So I've gone for about a -10. And with the blacks, I pump those back up again. So about a +13, if that helps you guys. So once I've gone into that, I move down to the presence. And with Fuji cameras, you can't really sharpen them on Lightroom right now. So I tend to just use the texture and stuff there. So for texture, I go a bit of a +10. With the clarity, I always bring that down because I like a soft kind of filmic kind of image. So I'll go -17, -20, that kind of mark. And saturation, I just bump up a little tiny bit. +5 is always fine with these Fuji RAW files. Yeah, and for the tone curve, I don't really touch the tone curve too much. I just give it a slight lift at the bottom end in the shadows and a slight dip in the highlights. And I feel like for me, that just gives it that slight filmic edge. I'm trying to go for a filmic image with these kind of photos that I take. I'm not trying to go for a dramatic, overly modern, high contrast image. That's not my kind of thing. So when it comes to HSL, for my hues, I always change my reds and I always change my colors around a little bit because I'm trying to go for that film look. So if you guys want some numbers, here's some numbers. For red, I go +12. For oranges, I go about +4. For yellows, I go about -5. And greens, I bump it up about +5, and for blues I bumped that up about +5 also. In the saturation for reds, I go about +25 because I really want my reds to pop. On oranges, I do about +5 on that. My yellows also +25 because I like my yellows to come out with inside my greens, because I also bring my greens down. So my greens I go -30, and for my aqua colors I go -25. The blue, I push that up a little tiny bit, +10. Purple -30, magenta -30, because those are colors that I don't really work with personally. So my split tones on my highlights and shadows, for my highlights I go 0 to start with and 7 underneath. So on my hue I'm at 0, my saturation at 7, just kind of gives me that nice glow in my highlights. And then my shadows I go all the way up to 65, which is towards a green tone. And then for my saturation on that, I always stick around 12. 12 is kind of my nice number there. So there's some numbers for you there. And then I like to add some grain to my image. The grain always gives it that old school look, if you know what I mean. So for my grain, the amount, I set it to 30. For the size, I set it to 25. And for the roughness, I set that to 45. And I feel like this gives me a nice super 35. It gives me a nice 35mm film kind of look. I mean, it's still quite heavy grain. It's not as fine as something you'll get from a medium format or something like that. So yeah, I kind of like this look. It works well for Instagram and stuff like that too. So on my processing, my shadows, I like them to push towards the green tones because I feel like that's very old school film look. So I go -15 on my shadows. For my reds, for the hue, I do a +10. Saturation, I do a -5. For my greens, I put +30 on the hue and saturation -20. And for my blues, I do a +5 on hue and a +20 on saturation. And that's kind of the look that you got. So that's kind of my little preset I did here to work on the car. I'll show you some before and after here. I kind of sped through that. I hope you guys got enough information from that as possible. But here's my before and after, and it makes a nice preset. You guys can use this. I'll just show you how it looks on some other images. I'll show you that image that I particularly like of the house here, and I'll just bang the preset that I've just made here on top of that one, and you can see the before and after is quite nice. I mean, you can put this on any image you want. I like to do that if I'm working with one day. I'll just put the same preset on all of them as if I was using the same film stock, and then I'll just edit the shadows and the highlights to match it or bring down the contrast. But yeah, so I guess that's kind of it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I like this format, going out there, shooting some stuff, doing a little walk around with you guys, and then maybe doing a quick edit at the end. I think it's all beneficial for you guys, and I think you might enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. It took me a while to make this one, but it's done now. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like. Leave a comment below if you've got any other ideas that I can kind of incorporate into these kind of style of videos, and I'll try and bring those in. And also leave me some comments below of what you kind of want to see next. I'm trying to focus on this whole staying around suburbia, staying local to where we live kind of thing. So if you guys got any ideas of things you want me to shoot, then I'll go ahead and shoot it. I have been taking a look at fuel stations and things like that recently. I know it's a cliche, but I really like the way they look at night and stuff like that. So I might go out and do a night photography shoot with that soon. And yeah, if you have any questions about the PERGEAR lens as well, the lens is really good. I mean, I'm gonna make a little small review about the lens soon, but I'm really enjoying that lens. It's so compact, it's so tiny, and as you can see, it gives you a really clear image. And they're only £60 from Amazon right now, so go check those out. I guess that's it. I've been talking way too much. This video is probably like 3 hours long now, so yeah, leave a like, leave a comment, and I will catch you guys in whichever video happens to come next. Peace and love.